I'm going to tell you a little story, and while I'm telling you a story, if you have requests, you can put them in the chat feature, and I'll check that before we get moving. So once upon a time, a very long time ago, humans had once again messed things up on Earth so irrevocably that the gods decided they needed to send one among them down to Earth to set things straight. And they decided that this time Ganga should go. And at this time in history, Ganga had only existed in her celestial form as the river of heaven or the Milky Way. And Ganga said, okay, I'll go, but you know, I am so powerful that if I just go down to Earth and nothing catches me as I land, my infinite power will probably destroy the place. And Shiva stood up and he said, no problem, I will catch you on my head. So Shiva untied his hair, which was very long and very matted and very tangled. And Ganga came down from the heavens. She landed right on Shiva's head. He caught her there. And then all of that power that she held flowed out in channels between the tresses of this long matted hair. And she was able to go off and do what she needed to do to save the Earth, and that's another story for another day. And we now know her in her earthly form as the Ganges River. And in some depictions of Shiva, you can see he's got a lot of things up in his hair, but one of them is a little woman with water coming out of her mouth, and that's Ganga. So I'm telling you the story today because we all have within us this really strong power, and we have to figure out how to channel that power in what situations. So when do we need to channel that power into just one stream and it comes out as one blast? And when do we need to channel that power through the many channels of Shiva's hair and let it just gently come out and disseminate? We'll play with that as we go through our yoga postures today, when we need to gather our energy in and use it in one blast, and when we need to let it go. So find a seat that's comfortable for you. Put your palms down on your thighs and close your eyes. Take a few longer, deeper breaths that welcome you to your practice. Let these next few longer, deeper breaths really bring you into a sense of your own power. And maybe call up a memory of when you were able to marshal that power and use it in one strong blast, one strong river of energy flowing. And then also think of a time when you were able to let that energy disseminate in a graceful way. We need to use that energy in both ways and a lot of ways in between in our yoga practice, on our mats and off our mats. Bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra at your heart. And make your commitment to find that energy within you and to use your practice today as a way to learn how to use that energy. Bow your head towards your heart, the place that all of our energy flows through. And then release your hands down to your legs, palms up this time, so that you're ready to accept whatever learnings come to you in your practice today. As you inhale, sit taller, lift the crown of your head up, and then gently open your eyes. All right, if you're playing music today, now's your time to do it. I did create a playlist for us if you want to use that one. Virtual Yoga 7/30, July 30th, already. You can tap play on whatever you might be using. And then we'll start in Crocodile Pose on our mats because you find crocodiles in the river, right? So come onto your belly. One palm on the floor, the other palm on top of that hand, and then your forehead on top of the top hand, and then take your legs a little wide. Let your body relax here. Think about using the next few exhales to let your energy release down to the floor. Don't worry, it will be there for us when we need it. We'll pull it back from the floor, back into our bodies. But for now, see if you can just let that energy disseminate out. Let your body relax here. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it go through your mouth. Bend your knees so your feet are in the air, and then take the feet side to side, both feet going in the same direction. And get used to moving with your breath. So use an exhale to take your feet to one side and an inhale to bring them up. Moving at breath pace helps us use that energy of the breath to access energy within our bodies. Stretch your legs back behind you and bring them in just hip width distance apart now. Take your arms out to a T with your palms facing down. Lift your head off the floor and then bend your right knee, foot into the air, and take that right foot over off the left side of your mat. Try to get the sole of your foot down onto the ground. Maybe let your head relax onto the floor. Just trying to open the front of the left shoulder. Get a little twist in the spine. Maybe you can inch your right fingers out to the right just a little bit more. On an inhale, roll back to your belly and second side. Then the left knee, foot into the air. And as you exhale, take your left foot over off the right side of your mat. Your kneecap will be pointing up at the ceiling. Maybe let your head relax here. And then see if you can walk those left fingers out to the left a little bit more. Inhale, roll back to your belly and come into Sphinx Pose. So that means your elbows are underneath your shoulders, forearms parallel, and your finger pads pressing into the floor. So we'll come into a Slouchy Sphinx by just letting your head hang down. See if you can draw your shoulder blades down your back so the bottom of the shoulder blades moves down towards your waistline. And move your head around, any movements that help loosen up energy that is stuck in the back or sides of your neck. And then we'll go from this Slouchy Sphinx, where energy is just sort of pooling out, to a more intense Sphinx. Lift your head up, so crown of the head up towards the sky. Press your elbows down, press your palms down, your finger pads down. Draw those shoulder blades down the back again, and then isometrically pull your forearms back towards your waist. Keep lifting up through the crown of your head. You should feel your back muscles firing here, and then we'll add in back of the leg muscles. Bend the knees, drawing the feet up towards the head. So see how much energy you can channel in your back body here. And then exhale, release. Make your way to downward facing dog. Stretch out that back body that you just found that intense energy in. And take any micro adjustments in your downward dog that feel good for you. Maybe pedaling out your legs, maybe pointing the toes back behind you. Maybe shifting the hips side to side, just stretching out the back body. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Those clearing breaths are one way to channel or move energy through the body. Walk your feet in about 3 inches and take them out as wide as your mat is. Take your right hand to the outside of your left leg in a twist. Look underneath that left arm up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, release back to your short dog with wide legs. And then left hand grabs the outside of the right leg, grab on, twist around, look under your right arm towards the ceiling. Inhale, hand back to the front of your mat. Walk your feet up to the front, stand in forward bend, folding over your legs. Hold on to your elbows with your palms. And then take some little swaying motion here. So this could be swaying through the upper body. It could be swaying the hips side to side. Just a little bit of sway or movement to create more opening. And then bring your hands to your hips. And as you inhale, rise up to stand. And then bring your hands to your heart. Remember your commitment for this practice to explore, to learn how to channel your energy. Inhale, lift your arms up overhead, look up. Exhale, float down to forward bend. Inhale, stretch out halfway. Belly is lifting here. Find that strength in the belly. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. And then use your exhale. Ride that exhale down to chaturanga. And then inhale, lift up into cobra or upward dog. And then exhale, lower down to the floor. Widen your hands, wider than your mat. Come onto fingertips. Point your elbows up at the ceiling, lift up into a little cobra, and then roll your shoulders, one and then the other. And then come into stillness. You're going to keep everything you've got. Stay in this position, hug the belly in so you reinforce that strength. Make the legs strong, press the tops of the feet into the floor, and then find those back muscles again to lift you up. Use a little bit of arm strength here in this modified cobra, stretching the front body, and then exhale, lower down, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg back and up behind you. Stretch it high, use the muscles on the back of the leg to lift it up. And then exhale, lunge your foot to the front of your mat. Come up to high crescent pose. Inhale, both arms up, back heel is lifted. Find energy, pull it up from the floor. We let it pull into the floor earlier. So from the soles of your feet, pull energy up into your core, into your hips. Be really solid and steady there, and then see if you can channel that energy up and out through the top of your head, out through your fingertips. Stay really strong everywhere, and then back bend. Find those upper back muscles that let you open the front of the body. And then inhale, back up. As you exhale, come around to warrior two. Again, lower body staying really strong here. That's where you're pulling that energy in right into the core. And then find core muscles, front, sides, and back. pulling in to hold you here. Come into side ankle pose. So you can bring your forearm to your thigh or your fingertips to the floor, but whichever position you choose, make sure you're a little bit light on that right arm. Don't just jam down into your hand or your forearm. Bring your left arm over your ear. Stretch out the left side body. And then inhale, lift up, reverse warrior. Stretch out the right side body. Inhale, lift up, warrior two. Bind your back arm, bring it around behind your back, whatever binding degree works for you. On your exhale, half moon pose. Come forward, so you gotta have a lot of energy taking you forward, but you don't wanna have so much energy taking you forward that you crash forward. Lift that left leg up to about hip height. And then see if you can be light in your right hand. Maybe you don't lift it off the floor yet, you just start getting lighter. In order to get light in the right hand, you have to find energy in other parts of your body. So that's your right leg, that's your core. That's the left side body lifting you up a little bit. So maybe you can lift that right hand off the ground. Step back into lunge. And then release the bind, hands windmill down to the mat, one leg dog, lift your right leg back and up, bend your knee, twist open. And then inhale, stretch the right leg back. You have the option for a one leg vinyasa here. And then we meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg back and up behind you. See if you can channel the muscles on the back of the leg. Pull energy into the back of the leg to lift it, and then use your core muscles to lunge your foot to the top of your mat. High crescent pose. Sweep the arms forward and up. And pull that energy from the feet up into the core. And then channel that energy right up through the center of your torso, up through the top of your head, through your fingers. And then turn on the upper back muscles, back bend in high crescent. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Take a moment to settle into your posture. Strong legs, strong core. So don't let that energy just pull out in your core. You really want to think about pulling it in here. On your exhale, side angle pose. Left forearm to the left thigh or left fingertips on the ground. Just be light on that left arm and stretch your right arm over your ear. Find a little more length into the right side body. Strong core, inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale, reverse warrior. Stretch out the left side body. Use your core to hold you up here, not your back hand. Inhale, lift back up to warrior two. Bind your back arm, bring it around behind your back. And then on an exhale, half moon pose. Come forward. Energy reaches forward. Just as much as you need to get that soft landing. Find your half bound, half moon pose. Catch your balance here. And then reinforce the energy, the strength in your left leg and also in your core, especially your right side body. And see if you can get lighter into the left fingers, maybe lifting the whole hand off the ground. Gently step back to warrior two with a half bind, and then release. Windmill your hands down to the mat. One leg dog, left leg lifts, bend your knee, twist open, open the front of that hip, and then inhale, stretch your leg back, one leg flow with the left leg lifted. Use breath to help you channel your energy in that flow. And then from downward dog, bring your feet to the top of your mat. Fold down over your legs. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Chair pose. Bring your arms out to cactus arms. So we're going to try to keep the hips pretty steady here. They'll twist just a little bit, but use your core, tighten up into your abdomen, and as you exhale, twist around to your right. So you pull that right arm back, inhale to center, exhale, twist to the left. Try to keep the hips relatively stable. Inhale, center, exhale to the right again. Inhale, center, and exhale to the left. Inhale, come back to the middle. Lower the hips, straighten the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward bend, fold down, straighten your legs. Inhale, lengthen out. And now take your own vinyasa, whatever variations of that you like, using breath to make the connections between the poses. Come down onto your belly. I thought I could catch all of you before you got to downward dog, but come onto your belly however you get there. Bend your left knee. Let's reach back with the right hand and see if the right hand is anywhere close to the left foot. If it's not, reach back with your left hand and grab on. And then bring that right hand around. So both feet holding onto your foot for the quad stretch here. And then exhale, release, stretch your foot back. Put your hands in place for chaturanga. Tuck your toes under. Get your body really strong here. So that's probably lifting the legs off the ground. Most or all of the quads will be off the ground. Hug your belly in, draw the shoulders back, take a breath in. Just a little puff of air out to bring you up to chaturanga. And then full breath out, plank, and then hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg back and up, bend your knee, twist open. See if you can take it over a little bit more and get a little lighter into your right hand. We're gonna try not to flip over here. If you do, that's okay. You're just trying to find how to hold the strength in your body so you can hold the pose without flipping. And then hand back down, stretch your right leg back behind you. Exhale, use your core to lunge it to the front of your mat. Come up to warrior one. Lift up. Again, the strength in the pose comes from the bottom in this instance in warrior one. The legs are really strong, pulling into the middle. Core is really strong. Once that is all set, you can be really free in the upper body and maybe find a deeper back bend in warrior one. Exhale, hands to your heart, twist to the right, bring your left arm across. Instead of just using arm against your leg, see if you can also use your core to help you twist here. And then inhale, lift up and around warrior two. We're gonna bind that back arm again. Straighten your front leg, half bound triangle pose. Reach forward through the right arm. Keep that right side body long and then bring your right fingers down to the ground and roll the left shoulder back. Strong legs, strong core. Inhale, lift up. Reverse triangle with the half bind. Right arm right by the ears. You stretch back. Inhale, lift up. You're going to keep the half bind, but come into warrior two. And from here, we're going back to half moon pose. Reach forward. Land onto your right foot and your right fingers. Lift the left leg up and roll the left shoulder back. Roll the left hip back. Okay, here, bend your left knee, hug your heel in towards your hip. You got two options here. First option is a little easier. Reach your left hand back to grab your left foot in half moon shavasana, or get lighter into your right hand. Reach the right hand back, grabbing the left foot, and then once you make the bind, push your foot into your hand and open up into a back bend. It takes a lot of channeling energy here to hold this balance with the back bend. And then exhale, gently release. Stretch your leg back. Come back to warrior two with the half bind. Reverse warrior with the half bind. And then exhale, windmill your hands down to the mat. One leg dog, right leg lifts up, one leg flow. And let's, when you finish the back bend of this flow, just lower down to your belly. We'll all need on our bellies eventually. Bend your right knee. So first, use the muscles on the back of the leg to pull the foot in a little closer. Instead of just having that leg be really loose, really charge it up and pull it in. Reach back with your left hand. See if your left hand can find your right foot. If it does, hold on to it and pull it in, and then pull your right hand around too. If your left hand is just not finding that right foot, reach back with your right hand. Pull in, quad stretch here on the right side. All right, exhale and release. Stretch your leg back. Put your hands in chaturanga position. That means your forearms are about vertical. Lift the fronts of your shoulders away from the floor. Tuck the toes under and make the whole body strong. So you got to use the front muscles and the back muscles here. Legs working, belly working. Take a breath in, little puff out for chaturanga, and then full breath out, plank, and then hips go back, downward dog. Inhale, lift your left leg back and up, bend your knee and twist open. Challenger's balance here in the twist, maybe getting a little lighter into your left hand. And then left hand back down. Stretch your left leg back, square your hip. Exhale, core muscles, lunge your foot to the front of your mat. Warrior one, back heel is rooting. You get a lot of power from that back leg if you'll use it. Take your arms up overhead. Power and strength into the abdomen, into the low back and the glutes. And then you can get a deeper back bend in warrior one. Channeling that energy where you need it. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, hands to your heart, twist to the left. Rotate around on the axis of your spine. Yeah, you use your arm against your leg to twist, but also tighten in your core to help you twist. Inhale, lift up and come around to warrior two. We'll bind the back arm again. Straighten the front leg for half bound triangle pose. Lean forward and then fingertips lightly on the floor. Roll your right shoulder back. So find your strength here in your legs. Find your strength in your side bodies. Inhale, lift up. Reverse triangle. Stretch back. Inhale, come up to warrior two. So that back arm is still bound. And then use your exhale for half bound, half moon pose. Balancing on your left foot and your left fingers. Reach back through the right leg. Roll the right hip and the right shoulder back. Take a moment here. Find your strength. Find your energy. Channel it into your standing leg, into your hips and into your core. And then bend your right knee, hugging that right heel in towards your hip. Finally, see if you can get a little light into the left hand, maybe lifting all or part of the left hand off the ground, and then make your grab. Either reach back with your right hand, or if your left hand can free up, reach back, grab your foot, press your foot into your hand, and open here. On an exhale, gently release, stretch your leg back, come back to half bound warrior 2. And then release, windmill your hands down to the mat. Take your left leg back and up, one leg flow. Everybody's looking great. Bring your feet up to the top of your mat. Fold over your legs. Chair pose. Take your hips down and lift your heart up. Challenge yourself a little bit here to find your strength, not just in your quads. They're going to do the majority of the work, but see if you can find strength in your upper back as well. Strengthen your belly. Instead of letting the belly just pull forward, see if you can pull it back and in, really strong. Channeling the energy here, and then push into your feet. Keep all that energy in the legs, all that energy in the belly, a little energy in the glutes, and then back bend here with straight legs. Inhale, lift back up, exhale, hands to your heart. Take a moment here just to be with your breath, to be with your body. Notice if there are any places that are dammed up with energy. These might be where you typically hold tension, say neck or upper back, shoulders, maybe low back, maybe your belly. And see if you can use your next few exhales to let that energy get undammed to open up. All right, inhale, take your arms up high. Exhale, take them out wide and down to the ground. Fold in, take your hands under the soles of your feet. So bend your knees enough so you can get the whole palm under the soles of your feet. Your toe tips are touching the insides of your wrists. And then gradually start to straighten those legs out or work them towards straight. If you're here and your legs are already straight, bend your elbows and pull yourself in a little bit more. Inhale, release your hands from under your feet, and then take your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. From downward dog, come into plank pose. All right, so you've got to really tighten up into the core here. Just 5 times, we're going to take the right knee to the left elbow from plank. So first, lift your right leg up to hip height. Use your exhale, right knee crosses over to left elbow. Inhale, stretch it back up to hip height. And exhale, forward, inhale back. Exhale, reach across, inhale back. Exhale, pull in, inhale back. This time, pull your knee in, stretch your leg out to the left, spin your back heel down, take your left arm up into the air. To get your hips higher, channel energy into your feet, into your right glute. Lift the chest up, push the floor away with the right hand. And then exhale, left hand comes down. Draw your right knee back to hip height. And from here, one leg dog. Right leg lifting into the air. Bend your knee and twist open. And if you want, This time, flip over. If you're really channeling that strength in your core, you'll be able to flip over without crashing down to the ground. Or maybe Shiva will be there to hold you. Inhale, come back around. One leg dog. On your exhale, lunge the right foot to the outside, to the outside of your right hand. And here, remember that Sphinx pose we did earlier? We're going to try to keep the legs in this position and come down onto elbows. If you need to lower your back knee, lower it down. If you can keep it lifted, lift it. If you can't keep that knee lifted, it's not probably because you don't have the strength, because the legs are really strong. It's probably just a matter of needing more hip opening. So knee up or down, your choice. We'll hold here for a few breaths. And then let's add a little more energy into this pose. We did a Sphinx pose earlier that was slouchy, and then we did one that was strong. So we're going to make this one strong. Press your finger pads down, isometrically pull those elbows back, look forward, bring your chest forward, make the upper back fire here. If that back leg is lifted, fire it up a little bit more. And then hands down to the ground. Take your right arm to the outside of your right leg. And we're going to step through to a seat. So this will be a little bit easier if you come onto fingertips. You're going to step your left leg all the way forward and through. Right foot stays right where it is. Yep. So you land here. Take your right arm up. And then exhale, bow forward, grab onto whatever part of your left leg you can, maybe your left foot, and fold forward. And then inhale, lift up. We'll take our arm balance for today. This one is called Eka Hasta Bhujasana. So one hand or arm, shoulder pose. So with your right hand, grab your right foot and pull the right knee back. As a temporary placeholder, bring your left palm to the sole of your right foot. Right arm on the inside of the leg and work that right leg as high on your arm or shoulder as you can. So you got to use some inner thigh strength here to hold the leg onto your shoulder and then hands down onto the floor. So this is going to help a lot if you lean forward. Elbows can be bent a little bit to begin. And then as you exhale, you're going to push down into the hands and straighten the arms. Think about using your core to pull your hips back and up. Take a breath in, exhale, straighten the arms. See if you can lift that left leg off the ground. And then lower down. All right, we've got a second side, but first we have other poses to do. Make your way back to downward facing dog, however you get there. Okay, from downward dog, inhale into plank pose. We're going to be holding this plank. Lift your left foot up to hip height. On your exhale, bring your left knee to the outside of the right elbow. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, pull. Inhale, back. Two more. On this last one, pull your knee in and then straighten your left leg out to the right. Spin your back heel down. Take your right arm up into the air. And then from here, use the strength of your feet, pushing into the floor to lift your hips a little bit more. Push your hand down into the floor. Lift your chest up. You got it. Inhale, lower your hand back down. One leg dog. Lift your leg back and up. Bend your knee, twist open. And you have options. Work on the balance here, starting to lift the left hand off the ground, or if you can channel enough energy into your core, you can flip over. That looks so good, without crashing down. Inhale, come back around one leg dog. As you exhale, lunge your left foot to the outside of your left hand. And then we lower down to Sphinx Pose with the legs in this shape. If you need to put your back knee on the floor, just go ahead and lower it down. You're still going to get all that hip opening. And in a moment, when we go from, we'll call it resting Sphinx to a more powerful Sphinx, you'll still be able to do that with the back knee down if you need it down. So here we go. Press down into your finger pads. Isometrically pull the elbows back. Bring your chest forward. Take your gaze forward. Really strong into the upper back here. And then walk your hands back in. Left arm on the outside of the left leg. And we'll try to, in one fell swoop, bring that right foot forward and through to a seat, or however you need to get there. Take your left arm up and then exhale, bow inside that left leg, reach out, grab where you can. You can always use a strap here around the arch of your foot and fold in. Inhale, lift back up. And we're ready now for this arm balance. It is tricky because you have to find the right placement for your hands. If they're back by your hips, it's going to be really hard. You want the hands out in front a little bit. So reach down with your left hand, grab your left foot, lift it up, and then pull it back. Just as a placeholder, bring your right hand to the sole of your left foot. Left arm comes inside the leg, and then throw that leg up over your shoulder. Squeeze the inner leg onto your shoulder or your arm, and then lower your hands down. Again, hands out in front is better. And you want to lean forward, already getting your shoulders forward. Pull your belly in and up. Think about pulling your hips back. You're not going to move very far back, but you have the action of pulling them back. Take a breath in, exhale, push down into your hands, lift the hips back and up, and then see if you can lift that left leg up a little bit, or right leg up a little bit. I see you doing it, looking good. All right, let that go. Take your legs wide. Bring your hands out in front, and before you forward fold, take a big inhale through your nose. Exhale out that arm balance. Letting that one go. And then start walking your hands forward. So maybe you come into that Sphinx pose we were in before. If elbows come down to the ground. Maybe you walk your hands farther out. You're going to take some long breaths here. You do want to keep a little energy in the fronts of your legs here. So think about lifting your knees up. That's going to activate your quadricep muscles. Keep your toes pointing up at the ceiling. That energy on the front of the leg allows the backs of the legs to lengthen out a little bit. Safely. About 2 more full rounds of breath here. Use your next inhale to start walking in. All right, bend your right knee, sole of the foot on the floor, and your right toes are pointing out at about a 45-degree angle. With your left palm, grab in front of your left shin, just right above the ankle there. And then you're gonna reach the right arm up and lean over out over your left leg. Maybe your hand will touch your foot. If it doesn't, you just keep reaching. If your hand reaches your foot, see if you can get your left shoulder on the inside of the left leg. And then inhale, use your core to lift you back up and stretch out your right leg. We'll go to the second side, bend your left knee. So right hand comes across, grabs just above the ankle at the bottom of the shin, left arm up, and as you exhale, lean out over your right leg, reaching out. If you grab your foot, hold on, and then maybe see if you can work that right shoulder on the inside of the right leg. Pull the left side body back. Inhale, use your core to pull you back up. Straighten your leg back out. And then grab on the insides of your knees. Bend the knees out to the side, soles of the feet together. Hands just at the bottom of the shin there, just above the ankle. Lift your chest up. And then exhale, bow forward. All right, inhale, lift back up. We're going to take just one back bend from the floor today. So come onto your back. And you decide if you want to come into bridge pose, really accessible for most of us from the floor, or wheel pose. Since I know you all know bridge, I'll talk you through wheel if that's something you want to try. Wheel is getting the lift off from the floor. In wheel is one of those poses where you really do have to find where to channel your energy, and it comes from the legs. You do need some arm strength and upper back strength, but there's a lot of leg and hip movement to lift you up. So I'll talk you through that. If you're going into bridge, go for it. If you're going into wheel, come with me. Place your hands on either side of your head. Push into your feet. And then start making your upper back strong here. So push the hands in a little bit. Squeeze the shoulder blades onto the back. Reinforce your core, belly and low back. And then as you exhale, push down into your feet. Start to lift your hips. Take a breath in, more pushing into the feet, more squeezing of the glutes. Push the floor away with your hands. Stretch long across your front body. So whether you're in wheel or bridge, find your power source and then use that source to spread energy through your body where you need it. And then on an exhale, we'll all lower down to the mat. Hug your knees into your chest and rock over your back. Put the sole of your left foot on the ground and cross the left leg all the way over so there's not a space between your thighs. Take your arms out to a T. And as you exhale, take your knees over to the left. Inhale, bring your knees up, uncross your legs. Right foot stays on the ground, left leg crosses all the way over. And then as you exhale, take your knees to the right. Inhale, bring your legs up, uncross, hug your knees in and take a full happy baby pose. Reach up, grab onto your feet, draw your knees down. If it feels good, rock over your back. If it feels good, straighten your legs out, toes down towards the ground. This is a time to let go of the effort of the practice. And then release the feet. So if you're up for it, you can take Shavasana or maybe come into legs up the wall. It's also called waterfall pose, which is appropriate for Ganga coming down to earth. So you don't have to have a wall. If you don't have a wall nearby, but you have a bed or a chair, you can put your legs into or up and over the bed or the chair, or move around so that your hips are close to the wall. I like mine a few inches away. And then you swing your legs up so that your legs lean into the wall and your palms face up to the sky. So find your relaxation pose. And once you're there, take 2 clearing breaths on your own. Deep inhale through your nose and long, slow exhale through your mouth. With those exhales, letting go of the effort of the practice, letting go of holding wherever tension might be dammed up in your body. Let your exhales, like a river, pick up and carry away whatever tension is stuck in your body. Feel the flow of your blood. It's your own personal river. And the flow of energy in your body that moves along similar channels as your blood does. Try to let go of whatever in you impedes your natural progression. And then imagine yourself as a conduit for a really powerful healing energy. And let that healing energy flow through you. Take a few more breaths just to be with this stillness in your body, knowing that this incredible power is within you. Begin to reawaken that with a deeper inhale. And then start to move your fingers and your toes. If you're in waterfall pose or legs up the wall, start to slide your legs down. And if you're on your back, begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, stretch your arms overhead. From waterfall, roll to your side. And then from your back, roll to your side. Take a moment to honor that Ganga-like power within you that could light up the sky, that could come to earth and provide source of water for millions. Make your way up to a seat and close your eyes. Bring your hands to your heart. I hope as you go through your day, you're able to use any learning from your practice today of how to channel your energy, when to let it blast out, and when to let it gently disperse and go. Let's hold our energy together and send it to those in need. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.